So the Chargers picked up a 17-14 victory over the Tennessee Titans. And honestly, it was the type of game where I would define it as average. This was an average game. The Chargers came down on their first drive and scored a touchdown. And then they didn't score until the fourth quarter. We know the Chargers struggle in the third. There's no doubt about that. The offense isn't where it needs to be. It's as simple as that. Keenan Allen showed up. Justin Herbert, we know he's a top 5 quarterback in this league. He might even spend time as the best quarterback in the league. I mean, if you're giving me one quarterback, I've said this since I made the channel, I'm taking Justin Herbert with his massive arm, his clutch ability. He just wants to win. If anyone's going to turn around the Chargers and get them a Super Bowl, it's Justin Herbert, bro. Believe that. Same thing with Joe Burrow and Patrick Mahomes and Lamar Jackson. All these quarterbacks, their teams are taking them over anyone else. And it's the same for the Chargers. Herbert was clutch in this game. I mean, I don't know how many other quarterbacks at the end of this game would have got their team in field goal position. That completion that he had to Mike Williams was just absolutely brilliant. But before I talk about this team and its direction moving forward, if you guys are a fan of the Los Angeles Chargers, you've come to the right place. I don't know how many Charger channels there are, but I'm certainly one of them. I cover the team all the time, bro. I'm trying to post more for sure, but the Titans, they're my division rival, right? I'm a Colts fan, and this was the type of game where you had to slow down Derrick Henry. Now, he did rush for over 100 yards, but his largest run at the top of my head was like 13 yards, and the pass rush got home. And on top of that, the linebackers, Kenneth Murray Jr. had a big game. We've been waiting for him to turn this around. A former first-round pick. I know there's been a new coaching staff and scheme, but Murray definitely showed up in this game, just kind of blowing up plays and on screens and things like that. We could talk about the good. We could talk about the bad. This was just an average game. I mean, thankfully they won the game because now with that Patriots loss, the Chargers have that playoff spot and actually have the tiebreaker over the Dolphins because they beat them last week. And Herbert, his best performance of the season came against the Dolphins, and then he threw 2 interceptions against this Tennessee Titans secondary that is just completely banged up and bad to begin with. So that's why I'm looking at Lombardi, right? Joe Lombardi. I mean, how do you have all of these weapons and can't get more than 17 points against the Tennessee Titans? Not to mention that the defense was incredible. The defense was, I'm not going to say it was lights out, but it was as close to lights out as you can get. I mean, top of my head, 3 for 11 on third down for the Titans. The first drive, the Chargers were running the ball. Running the ball, Austin Eckler. And then after that, they go away from it. The play action was working, they go away from it. I mean, these wide receiver end-arounds to Carter, that's just not the move. You need to construct an offense that can fully unlock Justin Herbert's ability. Anything otherwise is completely inexcusable. Now, I'm not claiming to know much about football. I'm just a fan making videos, but Justin Herbert needs to be in a better situation. I understand the injuries and this and that, the offensive line, but when something's working, you've got to keep doing. You've got to keep giving it to Eckler and then use the play action off of that. Keenan Allen, unbelievable game. If he doesn't have this type of performance, the Chargers probably lose this game. Mike Williams made the play that he had to at the end. Same with Justin Herbert. This was just a game about winning at all costs. It was an ugly win. Being real with you, I'm not going to say it was an ugly win because there was a lot of things to take away. Like I said, the front, right? The interior was fantastic in this game. The weapons showed up, Herbert. But also the clock management was bad. I mean, Justin Herbert, I'm sure you guys remember that interception that he had. He kind of just aired it out and took a shot, and it ended up being picked in the back of the end zone. Of course, he had that ball that was deflected, saved in bounds, and that led to an interception. That one wasn't on Herbert, but Brandon Staley, he's done an excellent job of putting his team in positions to succeed, but he also has made some kind of dumbfounded decisions, like using a timeout, and then like it didn't lead to anything, right? Like the thing you want to do at the end of half is put your team into a position to kick a field goal, and the Chargers didn't get that opportunity because of bad clock management. So even though I've talked down a lot about the Chargers, it's justified, right? I mean, we're talking about winning a Super Bowl. We're not talking about making the playoffs. You know, who the hell cares? Oh my God, you know, you make the playoffs. Last season, they missed it. The goal for this team is to win a championship, right? And anyone else that disagrees is not a Charger fan. Like, this team wants a Super Bowl. They expect to compete for a Super Bowl. So this stuff needs to be cleaned up. I mean, 8-6, fantastic in the playoff spot. You guys are going up against my Colts next week in Los Angeles. I mean, I don't even know what to expect with that game, being real with you. The Titans are certainly a much better team than the Colts. I think everyone is better than the Colts at this point. We just blew a 33-point lead to the Vikings. No Jonathan Taylor. But the Chargers need to stay locked in. They need to approach the Colts like this is a game going up against the Buffalo Bills or the Bengals or the Chiefs, meaning that all effort needs to be on the table. Justin Herbert, air it out early, right? Justin Herbert needs to be throwing the ball down the field. I mean, the Colts secondary is actually their strength, but that's why you run the ball on early downs and set yourself into those third and manageable situations, 3rd and 5 or fewer, and that's going to unlock this offense because the Chargers they don't run the ball. Like they have times where they do, but the Chargers really, if they don't have a run game going early on, they'll just go away from it, which is why when they had one going early on, I didn't understand why this team went away from it, because imagine how much better this offense will be with a run game. I mean, I'm looking at Austin Eckler, right? And Isaiah Spiller, you guys drafted him, and Josh Kelly. I mean, there's some talent on this team. Sony Michel, like there's some talent on this team, and it's just asking Herbert to do too much. I mean, Justin Herbert is as close to a generational talent as you can have in the NFL, and thankfully for his brilliance, the Chargers were able to come away with a win here. But man, you guys just need to be putting your team in better situations, especially going up against some of these top teams. Titans Colts is one thing. It's only going to get more difficult. I mean, I do want to talk about the offense, though, in the sense, like the third quarter, no touchdown. The last time you guys scored in the third quarter was week 5. Fourth quarter, you took the lead. I mean, that was just Justin Herbert hitting Keenan Allen, left sideline, and then 2 strong runs from Austin Eckler. 14-7, Titans get the ball with 2 minutes. 1 timeout, and they pushed down the field, and Kenneth Murray made an incredible stuff, which would lead the Titans to use their last timeout. And then after that, they've got a young stud tight end who made a 28-yard catch. And after that, Austin Hooper, 4-yard line for 1st and goal, 53 seconds left. Staley kills the clock, uses his first timeout in the second half. The Titans are able to punch it in. 14-14, less than 50 seconds, and Justin Herbert, that's pretty incredible to think about. With just 50 seconds left, being able to put his team in a situation to kick a 43-yard field goal with 8 seconds left. Cameron Dicker ended up hitting it. 17-14 win, 8-6, 6th seed for the AFC with the tiebreaker over the Dolphins. So what's next for the Chargers? It's just going to be understanding what you did right and what you did wrong, right? Like the run D was good. Derrick Henry doesn't get any better than him. You guys, well, you did not shut him down. He had over 100 yards, but Derrick Henry didn't have any 20, 30, 40-yard runs, like breakaway runs like we are accustomed to him having. The Chargers offense, a lot of passes, straight dropbacks and throwing in front of the sticks, right? That's just not what you want to be doing. Patrick Mahomes would never run an offense like that. So Lombardi, I still have concerns with him. I don't know how you can't. He's certainly not the guy that's going to take the Chargers over the top. I mean, when you have Justin Herbert, you can't be playing conservative. I don't care if you're up 17 or 20. If you're up at halftime, you've got to use Herbert and let him throw the ball down the field and go with what works, right? Like the play action, the running game was working. Anything else really wasn't, especially like trying to get creative with Carter. I mean, it wasn't working, so why do you keep going to it? As I mentioned, Henry, 21 for 104 yards and a touchdown. Great job on the Chargers there. Kenneth Murray, fantastic. Nazir Adderley had an interception. It was his second of the season, and that's really it, right? I feel like I covered everything. I mean, there's a lot of work to be done here, but the fact that the Chargers are now 8-6 despite the injuries, despite the start they had, I mean, Charger fans should be feeling good right now. I don't want you guys to get it twisted. I don't. If you made it to the end of the video, appreciate you, but I don't want you guys to get it twisted. The Chargers are in a good position moving forward, but they just need to continue to grow and develop. And getting back Joey Bosa is going to be absolutely essential because he is this pass rush. And I know you guys have another player who kind of stepped up. I'm looking at Chris Rumpf II, who he had a sack. I mean, he hasn't stepped up this season. He's actually been bad against the run. He did have a sack, like I said, but getting back Joey Bosa and being more aggressive offensively, the Chargers can be anything. Estimated with injuries. A fully healthy Charger team, I said it coming into the season, this is the best team on paper. And I know it's on paper, but talent goes a long way in the NFL, coaching staff and things like that. When you put a defense around Justin Herbert, right? Last season, they have one of the, honestly, worst defenses in the league, bro. I'm kidding you not. I think they're like 28th in defense. So, getting back Joey Bosa, this defense will certainly not be 28th. I don't know his timetable. He could be coming back next week. He could be coming back at the end of the year, the playoff. I don't know. But all I know is that he does need to come back because the Chargers can stop the run. Getting back Joseph Day is big, and you add in Khalil Mack, right? And you add in Khalil Mack's great against the run, and then Bosa. I mean, this is a good team, but let me stop rambling, bro. I'm going to see you guys in the next one later.